Hey everybody, this is Jeff. Sorry I'm adjusting the camera. One way operation here. Jeff's vegetable garden containers. I want to go over a few things with you, then I'm going to get a look over the garden for you uh, because it's just amazing how big it is already and how stuff's growing. I'm not even in June yet. So I think today's the 28th of May. So way ahead. The weather's cooperated recently, but the weather we struggled with early on. But things are going pretty good. So what I did was, garden's been in for a while, so like 3 weeks ago, I just put a few things in the last 2 weeks, but the majority of it's been in about a month ago, 3 weeks to a month ago starting. So what you have to make sure of is not in this like spring um, or fall or anything like that, is keeping up with your garden as far as making sure it's up to fertilization. Because you want to fertilize your garden every 2 weeks. In real hot, tough weather, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but this time of year, after I've gotten through May, I go every 2 weeks, and I'll probably go 3 weeks once I get into the real hot, humid weather we get around here in July and August. But even though, not things that eventually die or start to rot back, but because some of those vegetables that are in there, they're good, from the lettuces and the spinaches and certain stuff. It's good in there until end of June, maybe. Some years, just depends on the heat outside, and then the brachias, whatever you call them, and then the tomatoes, which are growing crazy, the eggplant, and the peppers that are growing great right now. They get up to full size, and then they start doing their thing, and from probably the second week in July all the way through October, you're just hitting on buckets of tomatoes, eggplant, and peppers. Some of my onions I put in real early this season. Went to bolt, cut and over bolt means it goes to seed. So I cut the top blooms and seeds off of them. I'm gonna let them dry out a little bit, and I'll probably take out some of those onions next week, and then I'll put something else in that container because I have so much that I can still do with what I have available to me now that I just have sitting around. Um, did the one sweet potato in a barrel, which I'll show you. The other one I did just last night, so it don't look as good because everything's wet, but you'll see. Um, Watermelon garden everything's looking pretty good right now. We'll take a look at that in a little bit, but mainly right now, I want to go over this fertilizing of your garden. So I use this Dr. Earth, and this is I know what it is. I think it's a 465. I gotta remember what this is. I'm pretty sure it's normally on this thing. Yeah, 463. 463. So your nitrogen's lower, and your potassium and nitrate. I'm not your nitrate. Your potassium and your phosphates are higher, which is great for this time of year because everything's already had so much nitrogen put into it to get everything growing. And this is the other one I use, and this is the fish fertilizer, which is a 511. Now this is a little higher in nitrogen, but fish fertilizer is a big key to your garden. It allows that liquid to mix with everything else. So when you add these up, you're really at you're at a 5, 7, 4. So you're still right where you want to be, but that gives you some nitrogen. But it just is that right? Am I right? 974. I'm sorry, 974. So your nitrogen is a little bit higher, but nothing major. But fish fertilizer and your own dust type of fertilizer is the best thing. So what I typically do is I get me it's old laundry soap container here, but what I typically do is there's only 3 cups here. Last night when I did the whole garden, I had 4 cups. My wife was handing them in to me. So what she would do is take this Dr. Earth and take like 2 teaspoons and another 2 teaspoons. She would hold this bottle up and go 1,000, 2,000, that's it. And you fill the bucket up with water, I have a growing post out there, a little metal post, or you can do any stick, anything you want. You just keep mixing it till it all dissolves. You'll have a little bit left in the bottom and a little bit on the top of residue of the dried powder, but it's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to go into what you're fertilizing and you're doing. And once you get it all mixed up, this right here is a 16-ounce cup. So if I'm doing small pots, like I have some small ones in there, I'm doing lettuce. I can't think what that stuff's called right now, all the different colors. I'll think of it in a minute, but lettuces and stuff like that, the brachias. I take a half cup, pour in there, and then a half cup in the next container. The smaller containers, like our 2.5 and 5 gallon containers. I'm sorry, 2.5 gallon and smaller. I put a half cup in each one. The ones that are a 5 gallon container, I use a whole cup. So, and the ones that are bigger, I don't go any stronger because I don't want to burn everything up. But we did. I'd hate to say right now there's over. I know there's over 100, but I'm thinking there's 120 different above ground containers, vegetables, potatoes, watermelon, everything we got going in there now. So we did it to everything that was out there. We mixed that together, cup, poured it on each one, depending on how big the container was, got it all in there. And it's fertilized. So the next time I'll have to fertilize that will be like the third week in June. Or I can do it like a second towards the third. Just like 2.5, 3 weeks. I got to fertilize it again, and then I'll do it in the second, third week, depending on where it comes up for 2 or 3 weeks in early July. And then once July hits with that real nasty heat, then I have to monitor my garden because a lot of times then you're watering more than you're fertilizing. And it depends on the summer. Sometimes we have dead bone summers here that are just hot and humid and dry. And we get a little bit of rain or a thunderstorm here and there. And in the last 2 or 3 years, it's hot, bone dry. And you're like, man, it's tough keeping up. Well, not for me now because I got automatic timers and watering system on every trellis, the watermelon garden, the potatoes, everything's got an automatic watering system to it now. So you don't have to worry, did you turn the water on and off? When you got to water again, it's set up for, right now it's set up for every 2 days for 20 minutes. I'm probably going to cut that down a little bit because the floor of the garden is pretty wet right now. But we did have 2 very heavy storms on Sunday as far as rain coming in here, just drenched everybody and everything that was around. So that's about where I'm at with that. And then, like I said, once you're done fertilizing, it's just keep up with that fertilization every 2 to 3 weeks. And if you get in a real hot summer, and no matter how much you water or what you try to do, and things won't keep up, cut the fertilizers. Because even though they're great, they will burn the roots when you can water every day sometimes and go out in the middle of the day and the plants are drooping and just don't look that good. And sometimes it's from overwatering. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. I forgot the last 2 or 3 years, which we never have had around here except for a heavy thunder or lightning storm. We have had absolutely down, not droughts, what's the right word? Downpours of rain, like late July into August for like 2 or 3 weeks every year. And I'll go away even before I have my watering system on, or I would go away, or I'd come back, or be around somewhere and come back. Say, shit, my garden's going to be in terrible shape. Ain't had a chance to run it, and I would just run a big hose back and just sit at one timer at the house and just run a sprinkler back and forth, which is terrible for your garden because you want to water the dirt. You don't want to put any water on the leaves and all that stuff. So I would sprinkler and come back, and I say, oh my God, the garden's huge. You're expecting it to die back some, which you haven't other years because, the heat just beats it down the way it is. And then you check the forecast and you see what's coming around. And I'm telling you, we've had 5 to 8 inches of rain for 3 years straight, late July into August. And never in my life ever seen that like that around here. And then in the fall, you start getting more rain. And in the winter, in the spring, we get rain quite a bit around then, or snow. Not much snow anymore, but rain and sleet or whatever. Unless we get a tropical storm that comes up in the south, which we probably have 4 or 5 that pass us every year or come up our way. It just depends if it's over top of you or you're on the outsides of it or whatever, depending on the amount of rain you get. But by that time of the year, September, October, your garden's dwindling down. So my season will end this year at the end of October. I used to let it used to grow into November and do certain things and start planting more and doing different things. And this year, since we're going to be doing a little bit more stuff, me and my wife, I got to cut it at around mid-October to the third week of October, get everything out and take what I can take, and the rest let go for now. And then start up again next year. That's all there is to it. But like I said, get yourself 5-gallon containers, some 16-ounce cups. Ends up being like 3 tablespoons between your two hands of that. 2-second pour of that, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, mix it up, and pour a cup or a half a cup, depending on your size container, and that'll fertilize everything you need in your garden. And you do it, like I said, every 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll be in good shape. So what I want to do now is to do my next video will be a walkthrough. I wanted to show you the cauliflower and broccoli, how that's making out. The spaghetti squash, which is huge already. The sweet potatoes, how they're doing in the trash cans and stuff like that. And I'm not even putting in what I put in last year, but I still have 8 and 4 is 12. I don't know, probably like 24 slips I got jammed in 2 barrels, which I would never do, but I just had too many of them growing, and I got a cup full of slips that are about 1 foot high that I'm going to give to my partner at work so he can grow them in his garden. And everything else is pretty well going the way I'm going. I didn't go as hard on the brachias this year, or brachias. Just due to, man, you sometimes you can overplant lettuces and spinaches and stuff. And when they first come up, people eat that stuff. They're like, oh my God, it's great, I can't wait. And you know, next thing you know, it's gone to seed, and they're like, well, we ate so much of it. And you go up in the refrigerator, still bags of it sitting around, because once the weather hits and everything starts really producing, man, there's just no stopping. I'm out here every night picking stuff. So a lot of times my video, I show you my harvest. I hold it all together for maybe a day, maybe 2, and then show it to you, because just like last night when my wife was helping me here in the garden, she was going through, she got a ton of spinach out, a ton of lettuce, and she was eating it. The weather's good. She got that out, and then she probably got 20, 25 strawberries out of there. And they're all decent size. They're all nice size. In fact, I haven't had any of them yet, but I was really surprised there was any in there, because just as of 2 days ago, 3 days ago, when I was in the garden, I ate every one of them. It was ripe when I was in there. And nothing better than a fresh strawberry or a fresh potato or something out of the garden that you like that's fresh, or a green bean. Just fresh and clean. The taste is just, if you ever eat fresh potatoes out of a garden, not bags you get out of the grocery store and antibiotics or whatever that stuff is they put in there to keep them lasting longer and all that. You get a fresh potato, a lot of times I don't even have to cook them. I'll come out here, and if I see 1 or 2 I want, I just wash them off with a little bit of water, get me a knife, cut it into a bunch of chunks, add a salt shaker. Just incredible. Potatoes are just amazing. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go at that point. I got some other stuff to finish up here, and like I said, I'm going to give you the sweet potato side of the garden and some other stuff we got going on out there, just so you can get a look to see how far ahead we are, and what you can do also if you want to do it. And if you have any questions about how I get that cauliflower and broccoli to grow the way I do, or the corn, my gosh, the corn's 18 inches high, and I just put it in last week, and it was 4 inches high, maybe 5. So it's really, really good at this time of the year. So, all right, guys, I'm going to let you go from there, and I'll be back with that next video, like I said, on sweet potatoes and an update on the garden. Don't forget to go out and like and subscribe, and go out to Pinterest and YouTube and Facebook, all them places where we got a channel, and subscribe and like, see the videos, and push them questions. All right, guys, thanks. Have a great day.